My audio is being included. Hooray! Hopefully I don't sound like too much of a robot. Yeah, we're good. You have your little shark ship. Looks like. So it looks like it's got like the fin.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry about that. The switch over. For some reason, Twitch on console doesn't let you switch over. It's just weird how it works.
Now we get to go to all the questions. You guys sent in a ton of
Yeah,
questions, like a
yeah.
ton.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, like we would have sat on Madden to do it, but it would have been an hour of us just sitting there looking at the screen.
And we got a raid to run on Saturday. We got to get ready.
What are you doing, Zach? You're exploring the Tangled Shore. We'll join. I'm joining Zach if you want to just join him.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna start out with the questions here, and we're gonna start out with Cirilio. The first question he asked was, "Are you happy with the return for Dua, and that you don't have to pay him?" Yes. I think that's a pretty simple answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think a second and the third was pretty sufficient for Tua.
Yep. Well, this question aged poorly. With a quarterback-heavy class, could we see you selecting one this draft? No.
I'm gonna say maybe.
Yeah, so no. Who are your top-ranked teams? Who are your top-ranked teams this season? Bengals, Packers, Saints, Seahawks are mine.
And I had Bengals, Packers, Saints, Rams.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to read the next one.
Yeah. So the next one is the Patriots and Watson seem to be falling off the season. Who do you see winning that division? I still have the Pats personally, even with the addition of Mahomes. 1-6 like we talked about. It's probably a little too much ground to make up at this point in the year, but I still have the Patriots because I just can't see the Bills or the Jets kind of putting together the wins necessary to win the division.
Yes, I agree. I have the Patriots still winning the division. It's close, but I think that they're still the best team in that division.
I'll do this one
Yeah,
since
this
this was
one's
for
for
me.
you.
Sam, I said at the beginning of the season that your team is elite. How do you feel about your roster and your record heading into the second half of the year? 6-2. I mean, it's really hard to find stuff to complain about. I guess kind of what I said earlier was that my schedule was pretty soft coming out of the gate. So I'm happy I picked up wins where I was supposed to. But, my losses have come against Vince and Will, both of whom have really good teams. So I really can't complain. I guess if I had a complaint, it would be, Trey Lance hasn't really put up a ton of stats this year. So I don't know if that's I'm pretty sure that has something to do with what I'm training every week. So I might have to switch that up. But he also hasn't thrown as many interceptions as he has in the past years. So it's kind of
Okay, I'll turn that down. My bad. It shouldn't have been blowing your ears out, but it's possible that it's just too loud.
yeah. So
It should be off. Let me know if it's better now, guys.
yeah. So I think my team is good. I'm hesitant to call them elite just yet. I would like to beat, a really good team first. I did beat Kevin, and I think Kevin has a good team, but I would love to beat somebody like on the caliber of Will and Vince and Cirilio before I kind of thrust myself into that conversation of elite.
Yeah, so this next one's for you, too.
Will you be looking to add going into the trade deadline? I didn't really seriously inquire about anybody. I kind of poked around the league a little bit, but not too much. I'm pretty happy. The thing I wanted the most was a true top end corner, like a 90+ corner, but nobody was going to give away those, to be honest. So I was kind of not stuck, but I was pretty comfortable where I was at. A lot of my moves came this past off season, so I'm where I'm at.
Okay. With custom draft next season, do you two see GMs moving as many picks as they did for the first class? I would say no, because the key thing to remember about this custom class is it's going to be more on par with the Madden generated classes. It's just going to have a little bit more dev. That's been the main issue with these classes, is that we're just not getting a lot of dev. And the places we are getting like dev at are places that we don't need it. We need more top tier offensive linemen coming in to combat the top tier defensive linemen.
Yep. I said the
would
same
be the-
thing. We'll continue to remind you guys. This custom class is not going to be crazy. Like it's like you said, we're literally just. Honestly, we'll probably just be switching around some devs from some offensive linemen to defensive linemen, more than likely, and making them a little better and whatnot. But his offensive line is continuing to struggle.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I don't think people should be trading. You shouldn't be trading guys for first round picks if you're anticipating that it's going to be like it was the first class, because you're going to be sorely disappointed.
Yeah, for sure. So moving on to Roy's questions. Which division is being most cannibalized by itself? I think it's the NFC West.
Oh yeah, me too.
I think that one's fairly easy.
Yeah.
And then his second question: do you think choosing NFL Live playbook makes a bigger play difference in play calling?
Well, you should be doing that to begin with.
Yeah, just a reminder, and I'll post something in chat. You absolutely should not be picking the NFL Live playbook. If you are, you need to stop. We decided last year as part of the reason that people have to show their playbooks at the beginning of streams. Yes, he meant from D-line to O-line, not the opposite way.
Oh, did I say it wrong?
You said it back. Yeah, you said it backwards.
Oh, my mistake. Yeah, we are giving more depth to O-line, not the other way around. My bad.
Yep. Yeah, I caught it, but I was like, hopefully. If somebody says something, I'll address it. Roy also sent in some more questions that I would pull up right now. We got them late. Are some users giving up on QBs too quickly? What do you think, Sam?
I don't think people are giving up on, outside of the whole Jamie Newman experience in year one with the Browns. I don't think we've had somebody give up on a young guy. We've seen guys give up on vets before, but in terms of young guys, I don't necessarily think so. What do you think?
I think that there's been a few guys, but the one outside of Jamie Newman I would point to is Sean and Derek King.
That's true.
Kellen Mond.
For sure.
But outside of that, not too many. He asked, do you think it would be possible that we could find a way to allow salary trades a la Brock Osweiler to the Browns?
We've talked about this. Yes, it's possible we could, but it creates a lot of work on the CMs to be able to do that. So I would say no. I just don't really want to. Because to me that's creating a lot more work for something that I don't necessarily think is going to be worth it, to be honest.
Cirilio points out Dak, and that's a fair one. I think I can see why somebody would think that Dak was given up on too quickly.
I mean, yeah, but
I'm not saying it's right, but
I watched a good bit of Dak's games, and Dak was bad. I don't necessarily blame Pode. I wouldn't have done what Pode did. I probably would have just stuck with Dak. But I get why he did it. Because Dak was pretty bad.
Yep. What was blast processing on the Genesis? Roy, nobody knows. Like, and you trying to pretend like you knew, that's a fucking lie. Don't you do that to me. Don't you gaslight me. What did Sega do that Nintendo don't? Everything. That was the whole point of that marketing campaign. And then lastly, did you ever play WCW NWO Revenge? I did. Sam did not.
It's true. I did.
Sam was like 5 or 6 when that game came out, so it's fair to assume that he didn't play it.
Yep, I did not.
So moving on to real questions. Who is next? Is it?
I have Lee as next, but if you have somebody else, we can go there.
Yeah.
The AFC South is, again, without teams above 500 at the midpoint of the season. What is one thing each team needs to do to become competitive in the future? So I'll just go ahead and start here. I'll run through my list right here. For the Colts, I simply just put, kind of retooling the defense. They gave up a lot in that trade for Lamar Jackson, and the offense has been fine, but like we said before, the defense has not been good. So really just getting that, some defensive pieces back to getting that defense competitive again. Titans, for Jeremy, I just think he needs time. Like, he just hasn't been here that long. He was given a roster that had a QB that was not started as a rookie, and Derrick Henry is old, and he let A.J. Brown walk, and Jeffrey Simmons walk, so he didn't really have a whole lot to work with out of the gate. So for Jeremy, he just needs a little bit of time.
Yep.
For the Jags, I said, he needs to hope that his QB goes to improviser, which I don't think it will, because if he doesn't, he's going to need a QB. And I kind of think he needs a QB because his QB is not that good.
Yeah.
The Texans, I said the Texans just need talent. Like, they have a good defense, but they just need some good offensive talent.
Yeah. So for me, it was defensive help for the Colts. They gave up a lot in that trade. For the Titans, it was a QB. Or not the Titans, I'm sorry. The Texans, it's a QB. Obviously, Drew Lock and Desmond Ridder are not the solution. And then for the Titans, it was more time. And the Jags, it was offensive line and quarterback development. We're at the top of the list for him.
Yeah, all that seems fair.
Yeah. Who was your midseason MVP? I said Mixon.
I said Mixon as well. It's been, I think, a running back every year, I think, since we've moved over to 21, so I can't see that going any different. Mixon's been really good.
Yeah.
What is the key to getting interceptions with your defense? Does your secondary need to have abilities? No matter what training I do, the secondary has 0 interceptions through 7 games. I have no idea. Like, I would assume it's something with your playbook, but I really don't know. My team doesn't get a whole lot of interceptions either. But my team gets a lot of sacks with my scheme and playbook, so I'm not changing it, so I can sacrifice the interceptions. But
it's random. Just so everybody knows, there's no way to do that. Year 2, Byron Jones had 6 interceptions. He had 1 the next year. JoJo Brewer had 7 last year. He has 1 so far this season.
Wow.
It's just random. Unless your name is Trey Wyatt or Stephon Gilmore, you can't force it.
So I guess
it's unfortunate.
Just trade for Trey White and Stephon Gilmore. That's your answer.
Yep. Which division is the best in the NFL this year? I said the NFC South or the NFC West.
I said the NFC West with the NFC South a short distance behind. I think the West just has more top tier talent than the South does. I think the Rams, the Cardinals, and the the Seahawks are, I don't know, they're on par with the Saints and Panthers, but I feel like the Bucs and the Falcons would just get rolled in the NFC West, to be honest.
Yeah, you're probably right. Um, are the Dolphins in full tank mode for a QB like Manu Ventura or Brett Kirkpatrick? Again, another question that didn't age well. I said no, but I also knew what was going on behind the scenes. So, yeah.
Guess that's a no.
Yeah, a no. From Lucha, Texans are on a 2-game win streak. Is this Drew Lock Renaissance? No.
No. Stop it.
I like as much as I wish that for you, Lucha. Like, no. Drew Lock is who Drew Lock is. It's like the old Dennis Green rant. The Bears are who we thought they were.
Yep. Bingo.
Drew Lock is who we thought he was.
Which is bad.
From Brendan, are the Broncos actually good? Yes.
Yeah, I said yes.
How much is a first round pick really worth? That's a good question. Depends on who you ask, honestly.
Yeah, for me, I said for personally, it depends on like the trade itself, like who you're trading for, and the draft class that particular year, etc. So, if you're trading for a quarterback or something, or if you're trading for a DN, I'm going to value first round picks a little different than if you're trading for something like a running back, which everybody has.
Yep.
So, but again, it's really, like you said, it's gonna that answer's gonna vary depending on who you ask.
Yep. His next question: how do the Chiefs go about rebuilding if the rumors that Mahomes is getting traded turn out to be true? Well, I'll say this right now: the Chiefs have a pretty good base of a defense now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just talked about it earlier. It really depends on how much, is he done tearing down, or does he want to continue to tear down? The only thing with that is he has some guys under some long contracts, so the cap penalty wouldn't be great. But, he could still get picks for, like, Tyreek Hill and others.
To answer what no other one just said in the chat, I don't look at who the users are outside of where they might finish. I don't really care about who people are. It's not a popularity contest for me.
Yeah, he literally can't trade Tyreek. Well, I mean, he could. He'd probably have to wait, but
yeah.
I'm not saying he had to do it like today, but I'm saying like in the near future. Because like we've seen, teardowns can be more than one season.
Yeah. In fact, they're probably going to be more than one season.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now that we're halfway through the season, how does it compare to your early season's predictions? Have your predictions changed? And these are from no other one. And more specifically, were there certain schemes, positions, players that you thought would have far greater effect or lesser effect than they currently are? For the most part, outside of like a few teams, I feel like the predictions have been pretty sound across the board.
Yeah. Well.
Oh Jesus. Winston didn't like that. Ryan, unfortunately, wasn't able to capitalize on how good his team was last year through no fault of his own. There's been a few teams that just have wildly underperformed.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's necessarily anything against what anyone's done. It's just Madden is weird from season to season.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have bad luck. Like in real life, teams just sometimes have bad luck. And I think, especially with Ryan, I think that's the case this year, for sure.
Yeah. Surprise breakout players. Do you have a list? For the
No, I honestly didn't see this one. I don't have anybody.
uh, uh, so Oscar Tomlinson for me. Like, I knew he was pretty good, but he's been having a really good season. And Pat McCullers. I didn't expect Pat McCullers to be this good this early.
Yeah, McCullers has been really good.
Um,
Like arguably, I don't think he's the best running back in the division, but I think you could at least make an argument.
yep. Favorite, least favorite trade move so far this season?
Least favorite, anything that Sean has done, to be honest.
My least favorite is still giving up so much for Gilmore and Diggs in the offseason that Kevin did. Like, I understand why he did it. It just still isn't one of my favorite moves that could have been made.
Yeah, I'm going with Sean's trade for him trading for another linebacker. I just don't understand it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But that's okay. It's not my team, so. But yeah,
I don't have to.
The Gilmore trade is whatever. You know, if he's there for, I think if Kevin gets 3 years out of Gilmore, then it was probably worth it. But I would be surprised if he does.
Yeah. Favorite offensive combo.
You better not take mine. I'm gonna be mad.
I'll let you go first.
I said Burrow and Mixon from Cincinnati.
Damn, that's probably where I would have gone to.
Yep.
Just off the top of my head, I'm gonna say Wilson and DK Metcalf because it's still very dangerous.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You know, it hasn't panned out as much, but it's still a really good combo of speed and a great quarterback. Favorite defensive combo. I'm just going to go ahead and put the entirety of the Saints defensive line up there.
Dang it. That's exactly what I had. I was like, you won't pick that. So I just wanted to make a homer pick.
Yeah, no, that's I mean it's four dudes who are all really good, so
Yeah, we had about 10 sacks against Kevin. That was super fun to watch.
which GM strategy are you most surprised is working or is not working?
So I have two. I said the
Go ahead.
Chargers at 5-2, just because of how bad Herbert was last year, and then Sean at 4-4. I think this team is overperforming, but you know, at 4-4 at this point of the year, I don't think Sean could ask for much more, to be honest.
I mean, this is the 7-9 season. 7-9 season I was promised last year, so
Bingo.
for me, it's probably Ryan as like most surprised that it's not working
That's fair.
because it's just been bad.
Yeah, I just took that like I just think Ryan's like it's just so out of his hands that like I didn't even consider him to be a part of this, to be honest. But
Fair.
I get why you would put him in there. Also, Winston is excited, so I'm sorry, everybody.
Moving on to Jeremy's question, because I don't know the answer to this next question and I don't understand it, so we're just gonna skip it. Sorry, no other one. Like I don't know if this is some kind of joke that I'm just not in on. But Jeremy, what teams at or under 500 do you think can make the playoffs?
So I said the Chiefs and the Giants.
Was that pre Mahomes trade there?
Yeah, it was. It was pre-Mahomes, so I'm taking the Chiefs out. So I'll say the Giants and I'll say the Jets. I think Toad can make a run, depending on like what his defense does.
For sure. I have the Giants and the Bucks were my two picks.
Yeah, I like that.
Will, if the trend continues, what NFC South team is beating Cody in the Super Bowl this year? Well, I hate to break it to you, but Cody's not making the Super Bowl this year. As fun as it would be for everybody for 4 in a row, Cody to make it, and another NFC team to beat him, I don't think Cody makes it this season.
I said Kevin, because I'd love to see Kevin beat Cody with Cody's own players.
That would be hilarious. But uh, who was the biggest surprise team of the first half? It's the Chargers. I think it's pretty handily the Chargers for me.
Yeah, I mean, I had the Chargers and Lions, especially not the Lions beat me. They're 5-3, I think, something like that.
Yeah, that's a good one as well.
Yeah, so either of those teams are good picks.
Midseason MVP, offensive, defensive, rookie of the year predictions.
So for MVP, I had Joe Mixon. For AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year, I had pick either George Woodard or Lynn Mays. Mays from the Chargers, Woodard from the Bills. I said either of those are deserving. Defensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC, I had Amari Grant from the Jets. For the NFC Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jeff Morrison from the Saints, and for the Defensive Rookie of the Year for the NFC, I had Darren Moss from the Lions.
Mixon for MVP, AFC Rookie of the Year. I'm going McCullers. I think he ends up putting up a ton of yards with how bad Ford is at throwing the ball. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I don't know. I haven't done enough looking at how the defensive rookies are doing over there, and I haven't looked at the NFC at all, not going to lie. As far as rookies go, I don't care about you guys.
That's fair. I wouldn't want to look at good players either. I just want to look at average players.
It depresses me, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it should.
Did Kevin trading for Gilmore and Diggs actually help him or hurt him? Neither. It kept him exactly where he was.
Yeah, that's what I said as well.
Moving on to Russ. Just how muddy is the water of the NFC West? Can Seattle or Arizona make a comeback and win the division? I mean, it's pretty muddy. Those teams are all kind of cannibal, like we said earlier. They're all just beating the shit out of each other, and it's unfortunate because it's going to make it harder for any of those teams to like get a number one pick or whatever, you know.
Yeah, and yeah, I think we kind of talked about that ad nauseum. So honestly, anybody can win that division, but yeah, the water is very muddy.
Sorry about that. Moving on to Ravens Mike's questions. No, I've never, like, I've seen the Monty Python, but it's not something I watch consistently. So from Ravens Mike, what's your rest of the season and long-term projections for Baltimore? I'll let you go ahead and handle this first.
So I think Baltimore finishes 7-9. I think that would be like a decent season for them. I would probably say Mike would be probably a little disappointed just because the defense probably should be a little better than it actually is. But I think 7-9 is fine. You know, he's paying Newman a good bit, so he's going to have to figure out what he wants to do with quarterback, because I mean, I don't necessarily think Newman is the answer. But again, you know, you're in a division with two good teams, so it's tough. You know, the good news is, like, the Steelers are, like, some of their players are starting to get a little older, so maybe they fall off a little bit. But, you know, I think the Bengals are there to stay for a while at least.
Yep. I agree. I think 6-10, 7-9 is where they finish. I don't think it's much better than that. Newman has the second highest carry rating for quarterbacks in game, but fumbles at very costly times in close game. Is this a fluke or a problem to address at the position in the future? It's not a fluke. He's a scrambler. They fumble all the time.
Yeah,
you have to deal with it. It's part of the game. Like, I think if you're trying to project going forward what, like, your team's going to do, account for at least, I'd say, what, 14 to 16 on a season for a scrambler, fumbles.
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like
for
that.
sure. Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty reasonable estimate. But you look at, would you rather fumble 14 to 16 times, or take 30 to 40 more sacks than a strong arm QB? Or
Yeah,
excuse me,
for sure.
less than a strong arm QB. So I would probably rather just fumble, to be honest. I can live with that.
So moving on to Lions questions. Best off-season, in-season move so far. I'll let you go first.
Best in season, I would probably say Vince bringing over all those defensive guys. Um,
Yeah,
I guess an argument definitely can be made for Mahomes as well, but we haven't seen Mahomes playing a Dolphins uniform yet, so I'm gonna hold off
we don't know
there.
what that we don't know what that looks like for sure.
Uh,
For
wh-
me,
yeah, go ahead.
oh,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, I was
Best
I was done.
in-season move is definitely Byron Jones to the Lions. It gives him two really good corners, which make him a threat to beat anybody in the playoffs. So, who makes the playoffs in each conference? If I had to pick right now, NFC, I'm gonna go Packers, Lions, Seahawks, Rams, Cowboys, Washington, and the Saints. And for the AFC, I'm going Patriots, Bills, Bengals, Steelers, Chargers, Broncos, and then the Colts.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just agree with you because I don't particularly feel like doing that mental gymnastics at the moment.
Yeah, Newman also does have 40 sacks, so he's not even getting the benefit of the less sacks, which is unfortunate. Trevitt Scrambler has not been great throwing the ball, possibly due to balanced quarterback style. Any tips or tricks? Tried running Green Bay playbook, Arizona playbook with pretty meh results. I don't think Sam wants to give you any help here since you just kicked the crap out of him.
Nope, I have nothing to offer for this conversation.
I can only speak to what I had to do in Doug, which has not worked out particularly well the last season and a half. And it's Seattle with spread scheme, but that's not necessarily the right move for everyone. So
You should run air raid with the Ravens, but is my suggestion.
yeah, that's a bad idea. Don't do that, Vince. Like, I don't want to see you suffer. Who's the rookie with a ton of sacks that falls off and does nothing in the second season, or second half of the season? I think it's that rookie from the Jets. He's probably gonna get hurt because we talked about him. Because we talked about him today.
Sorry, Code.
So Ryan, a couple questions for the pod. What the hell is happening to the 89 overall 1-6 Eagles? And how is this fair? Ryan, I don't know, my guy. Like, I feel for you, dude. Like, as somebody who had an 89 team that was also 1-6, like, I don't know how it works, so.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta, when Madden kicks you in the balls, you just gotta say thank you and just move on to the next season.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it'd be like that sometimes.
We saw the Jets make some big moves in the draft. What are your impressions of their rookies halfway through the season? Brett Ford is not good at football.
Brett Ford's not great. The McCullers is good. Brett Ford's not great.
McCullers is good.
Brett Ford.
McCullers is good. Brett Ford's bad. That rookie outside linebacker, good. Oh, wait, I skipped. I'm sorry. That was Pode's question. Any teams that should have been sellers or buyers at the trade deadline? Not really. I think that it was quiet until the end, and then there were a bunch of buyers and sellers. So,
yeah, I felt like it was a good amount. I thought it was fine. I didn't really have a team that stood out to me that should have sold or bought.
Which draft prospect wins the Heisman. He will give us our 5th-round pick if we get it right. I'm going to go with the scrambling quarterback, Manu, whatever, I'm thinking he's from Texas. Why? I don't know.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I wonder why. Interesting. I don't know. I haven't even looked at this class. No. I'll say it's a defensive player. Do I have to give a name?
Yeah, he said a name and one guess each. Just pick a D-tackle. That seems like a guy who would win the Heisman in men, or a linebacker.
I'm gonna pick the linebacker. I'm gonna pick the linebacker from Duke.
Okay, I like it. So there we got it. Now moving on to Poet's questions. Now that the Patriots don't look unbeatable, which will a new team represent the AFC in the Super Bowl? Yes.
It will be the Bengals, more than likely.
It will be the Cincinnati Bengals. We just answered that one. Who's the favorite to win it all this season? I'm going with the Bengals. Bengals are the best team.
Yeah, I'm also going to join you in that. I'll say the Bengals.
Early predictions for awards. We already did that, kind of. So, biggest disappointment so far this season, team-wise. Dolphins or Eagles, I would say.
Yeah, I would say the Dolphins or the Eagles for sure.
Biggest surprise this season, Chargers.
I'll say Lions.
Yeah, Lions are a good answer. Worst and best trades this year, in your opinion? We've already done that. Will Baker ever get out of Field General Strong Arm?
No, he won't.
Does Pode move the $35 million placeholder in the offseason?
I think he said he's going to. I don't know if he actually will.
Yeah, he said several times to us in Xbox parties that he is, so I hope he does, or else he's a liar. He's a phony.
Yeah, we won't be playing games with him anymore. We don't like to play with liars.
Yeah. Who will win the tank race, and does the Field General go number one?
Boy, I hope
the Vikings will win. The Vikings will get the number one pick, and with the number one pick, they will select the Field General because he's the only, taking or trade back. But you can't, I know, we say it all the time, Field Generals aren't good, but I don't think you can justify the talent difference that's going to be between the early first and the late first guys. If any of those scramblers had mid first talent, I would be absolutely go with them, but they're all late first, so you could be talking a 70 overall quarterback. And I don't know if anybody else has watched Brett Ford play this season, but it's bad.
Take the scrambler. I don't care. Never take the Field General.
I agree.
John,
it also depends.
Don't be a dummy, John. Take the scrambler.
It also depends if that Field General is fairly close to being impro or scrambler. That's one thing that could sway it too. If he runs a 4.6, 4.7, 40, that means he's right outside those. That chance, so then you might want to risk it to take him. But I think he should trade. Yeah.
Okay. What's better than maybe almost being a scrambler? Actually being a scrambler.
No, not when you're going to be a 70 overall. That's my issue with taking those late first guys is if they don't have dev and John hasn't done any content, he gets no normal to star, he gets no dragon, so then he's taking a bad scrambler who could be a normal.
It's fine. John will do some content.
Hopefully, you hope.
I'll reach out. I'll do some content for him.
Okay. I see how it is. Never doing content for me, but we'll do it for your buddy John. All right. These are from Corb. If you watched the draft last night, who is the guy everyone is sleeping on that you think will be the hidden gem that was drafted late between 10 to 25?
What are we talking about? Are we talking about the NBA draft?
Yeah.
Oh, I would probably say Tyrese Halliburton for the Kings, just because I can't believe he was there at 12. He should have been taken a lot higher. So, other than that, I really like Kira Lewis for New Orleans. He's from Alabama. Super fast, really fun point guard. Tyrese Maxey for the Sixers was also fun. I'm trying to think who else went in the first that could potentially be like really, really good. I think that's it for me.
I'm just going to go with the guy the Spurs picked because he got picked by the Spurs. So chances are he's going to develop to at least a nice player.
He
might not be great, but
he's fine.
He'll be all right. Yeah, they said that about Kawhi too, though. And then
okay,
soul.
all right.
And then he hurt my soul. Who we already answered that. Is this QB class in the next draft going to be the best non-custom QB draft we have ever seen? No.
No, we've ever seen. Period, or like we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, when
I would probably say yeah.
If we've ever seen that tends to lean itself into that we've seen in any of the Maddens that we've been doing.
If it's any of the Maddens, then no, then absolutely not. But in terms of Madden 21, I think I would probably lean toward just because of the quality of guys as well as the quantity of first round talents.
Yes, I mean obviously because there will only be 3 classes this Madden.
Right, exactly. So it's kind of a
right. So that's why I think he means all time.
If he means all time,
if we go no, because I would say the class of James Jones and Hunter Trainer was better than this class because there were a couple other guys that came out. Von Clayton came out of that draft class, and a couple other guys. So
Von Clayton was a bum. What you talking about?
Von Clayton was a X Factor quarterback, so he wasn't that much of a bum.
Listen, he ain't no Nelson Wall. I'll say that.
I mean, they have the same amount of Super Bowls, so I mean,
did he make a Super Bowl?
He might have. I don't remember if the Panthers ever made it.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Lee, did your Panthers ever make the Super Bowl?
Who do you think will win the NFC West in real football? Hawks, Rams, or Cards? Hawks, probably.
In real life, I guess the Hawks, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you rate the moves by the Panthers this season so far? They're fine. If I was going to grade his moves as a whole, I would say a C. Why are you throwing shit at me, Zach? You fucking duck.
I was also going to say a C.
How do you feel about the Wyrick trade by Bears-Pats midseason? It's been about what I expected.
Yep. Like you mentioned, Wyrick's numbers have been fine, but not MVP level. So it's honestly worse now, especially with what we've seen the past couple of running backs go for.
Yep.
Who first was turns out it was a massive overpay.
Yep. So the last questions of the night come from Cody. Which team is exceeding your expectations? We've answered this. It's the Chargers and the Lions. Underachieving Eagles and Dolphins.
Yep.
Which teams didn't make a move at the trade line that surprised you? Not anyone, really. Do you have anyone?
No, not really.
Does Sean understand that it's called a front seven for a reason? If he does, why does he sign or trade for a linebacker or D-line every chance he gets? He can't play all 15 of them.
That's a question for Sean. Sean, do you understand that? Yep. It's unclear.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure if he does or not. Sam, Anthony Schwartz is a touchdown machine in Tennessee. Do you regret trading him?
No regrets. He does have 9 touchdowns,
no regret.
Though, so that's nice. It's nice to see him playing well, but he honestly wouldn't play. He didn't play for me anyway, so he wasn't going to get run with CeeDee Lamb and Cooper Kupp and Seth Williams. So, no, I don't have any regrets, to be honest.
This is the deepest class draft since in 21. Blah, 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 blah. That question doesn't matter anymore because he's asking who I was going to pick, so... Which I don't know why Cody would have asked that. He knew I was trading for a quarterback. What is your favorite league content to enjoy? Roy's memes. I don't have any more stasis, Zach. My favorite content is Roy's memes.
Oh, same. Yeah. Roy's memes and
of the
Manic's post-game reviews.
Yeah. Of the podcast, which is your favorite to produce? Season preview, mid-season review, all-pro, playoff preview, mock draft, off-season review. Mock draft, off-season review for me.
So I have it ranked season preview, all-pro, playoff preview, mid-season review, mock draft, off-season.
Wow, you dislike the mock draft is your least favorite? Wow.
Yeah, because you never let me talk. You just take over. I just have to sit there. I just have to sit there and be like, yep, worked really hard on this mock draft. No, I'm just kidding. I like them all, to be honest, but I just...
Yeah, they're all fun to...
Yeah, the mock draft,
honestly,
is the
hardest to do.
The mock drafts are, like, just so tough because, like, we have no idea. Like, we're, like, throwing shit at the wall. Like... I don't know. I would love to go back and see like how like what the most accurate mock draft was that we've done. It's probably the first one, to be honest. But
yeah. We've already answered that. We've already answered that basically. I mean, I guess like this isn't an off-season trade, but like to which trade will have the longest term impact on the league or franchises involved? I think it's the Mahomes to the Dolphins trade.
What was the question? I'm sorry. I was reading the chat.
Which trade will have the longest impact, most long-term impact?
I'm going to say the Lamar trade. I know it didn't happen this year, but I think the Ravens aren't going to be that great for the next few years, and especially if those defensive pieces don't turn out the way that Mike wanted.
Do you have any trades in Madden 21 that you regret making?
Yeah, I regret trading Marshawn Lattimore. That's the only one I could have used because I think he's like a 94, 95 now. So that could have been pretty nice to have, but other than that, no, I don't have any regrets.
The only trade that I could even like put up there, I guess, is like the trading for Devin Singletary, but I didn't give up that much. So, because even like trading for Geno Atkins, it was only a current 3 that I gave up, so that doesn't hurt that much long term. And Devin Singletary was a 2 and a 5, so. And I've recruited both that 2 and that 5, so.
It's not bad.
So, and then, on the inverse, are there any trades or moves you had the opportunity to make, decided not to, but regret not making now? For me, I guess, like, I could have had a first and a second for Tua, but honestly, like... it wouldn't have helped because it was a first in last year's draft and there was no quarterback to take at that point. And that too was also the last year, so it wouldn't have helped any. So no, I don't think so. How about you, Sam?
Probably not. I don't think so. I'm trying to remember. I did most of my trades like last off season and the first season, so I don't have any.
Yep. All right, guys. So I think that's it for tonight. We've done about 2 hours of podcasting, so I think we're ready to be done. Thanks for all the questions, everybody. As always, they're great, and it's probably the best part of doing these podcasts is getting to answer the questions. Do you have anything else, Sam?
No, good luck to everybody in the second half of the year, and thanks for all your questions. And we'll be back, I guess, not next week, but the next week, I think. What's the day? Thursday?
Next Friday or Saturday would be when we would come back.
Okay.
That would be all pro. All pro would be probably Saturday, I think.
All right.
Is what we're week 9.
Yeah. So I guess
a
you'd
week.
be right.
Yeah, so Saturday. So, All right, guys.
See y'all later.
Later.